You've asked for it, it's being delivered. This is my ultra defensive custom tactics for you to see out a game and get that win in FIFA 22.
Griezmann, 3 men around him to somehow find some space. Ronaldo, fantastic, opening the drive back.
He's made himself the tiniest bit of space.
Almost feels like a bit of a time. Didn't really go for him. Oh! The display there is absolutely ridiculous. The Elastico on the goal line. On the goal line, the finest.
We
of
talked about
margins.
Aussie Cooper. He's not here to make up the numbers.
Moving in to the formation that I utilised to see out a game in FIFA 22, it's the same as my defensive formation, and that's the 4-2-3-1 wide. The reason why I use the wide variation and in general the 4-2-3-1 is because it is a super useful, effective and very overpowered formation this year in FIFA 21, but also it allows you to keep possession. And with the wide variation, you've got a left mid and a right mid. What that means is we can keep the ball out wide, enable us to draw the defense out to that side and then switch of play if we need. It's a useful formation to play triangle style plays, switch the ball, and very, very effective keeping possession. Moving into the custom tactics, this is super important, especially towards the end of the game, and there are a few things that I want to shed some light on for you guys and highly recommend that you don't do. Number one is do not set your defense to drop back. The reason being is this year when you do this, your players will obviously go deep on the pitch, but what I find is when this happens and your defense is deep in the 18-yard box, it is very easy for your opponent to find the striker inside the box, and that leaves us susceptible to conceding an equaliser. This year you are punished for drop back in my opinion, so for defensive style I leave this on balanced. Width is on default on 50. If you guys would have watched my previous custom tactics episodes, you would know that I keep this on 50, especially for your wider formations because they're already wide enough, and especially with the 4-2-3-1 wide variation you don't need any more width, lads, because you have those wing backs and the left mid and right mid out wide already that we don't need them pushing out any further. Depth I have set onto 60. Again, you guys would know in my other formations, my other custom tactics, I usually have this on 70, and the reason why is because, as I was saying, when you are deep on the pitch and your players are dropping back, it's very easy to attack against this in my opinion. So having a higher depth will allow you to stop this from happening, and with my defensive formation, my ultra defensive formation custom tactics, I have this on 60, so it's down from 70 to 60, just so the players are a little bit further back but not enough that my opponent can easily put a through ball or a pass into the striker to score an equaliser. Build up play is set onto balanced. I want my players sticking to their position. I don't want them making darting runs, nor that I want them floating into positions that I don't want them. It is important that you maintain that mental image in your mind of where your players are at all time, and setting this on balanced instead of slow build up or fast build up or long ball will enable you to do this. If you set it on any other setting, your players will make runs with the AI which you won't want them to make in certain situations. And at the end of the day, we're trying to keep possession, aren't we? We're trying to see out the game, so it is important that your players are sticking to their positions so that you have no troubles keeping that ball. Chance creation, however, is a different story. I have this set onto possession. The reason being is because when you have this setting, players will find space on the pitch, and they will also every now and then come to receive the ball without you even triggering it, which will allow you to have options when trying to get away from team press and constant pressure. Now, if you haven't yet seen my tutorial on how to counter press, go and check it out on the channel. There is a full guide on how to counter constant pressure and team press in FIFA 22. However, with chance creation, it is important, lads, that you have this set onto possession so that your players are in available spaces and are able to receive the ball to try and get away from that press. Width, yet again, is on 50. It's the default custom tactic. Of course, lads, as I was saying before, the formation is already wide enough, so you don't need to worry about having it any more wider because your players will be wide enough, especially with the 4-2-3-1 wide. Players in the box I have set onto 4. Of course, lads, your striker will still be in the box with this setting and a winger or two. However, it is important that we still have our defenders back so that we don't concede a counter attack. At the end of the day, we're not trying to score goals here, lads. We're trying to see out a game. Corners I have set onto 2. There's 2 reasons for this. Number one, you don't want many players up in the bots tempting to try and score a goal. Number 2, when I have this setting set onto 2, what I actually have set up is my players in a position to do the overpowered corner technique. Now there is a tutorial on that, but I'm sure most of you would know what that is. It's when you pass it into the player who's sitting just on the outside of the 18-yard box and you cross it in back post to score a header. When I have this set on 2, I'm able to do this and able to hopefully score that killing game goal so that you can get that dub. Free kicks on the other hand, I have set on to 1. Super important, lads. Yet again, I don't want my players up enough so that I concede a counter attack. I want them back ready to defend and break up the play. Moving into the player instructions, super important, lads. Usually on the 4-2-3-1 wide in my defensive formation, I would have the striker on get in behind, but it is important that we're not attempting to score goals, as I iterated in the previous segment on custom tactics, lads. So with my striker, I have him set on midst attack, and the reason being is because I do sort of want him making runs so that I can get the ball in behind to keep possession up the pitch instead of in my own half, because if it's in my own half, I'm more susceptible to lose the ball and concede. But I also want my striker coming to receive the ball, and when he's on midst attack, he will do this. He will come to receive it, and you'll have that pass into him to hopefully have an option and keep the ball. Cam, yet again, is set onto the basic default setting, and the reason being is because I want him drifting in and out the spaces to receive the ball. It's the same case as my attacking and defensive formation custom tactic. If you haven't seen those, go and check it out, but I iterate in there that I have my Cam always set onto the default formation because I want him drifting in and out to receive the ball and obviously give myself an option when I'm trying to keep possession and see out the game. Both my wingers, my left mid and my right mid, are set onto default yet again. I want them coming back and receiving the ball if need be. Now there is an option here for you. You could have them set onto come back on defense. However, as I was saying, lads, I want them up the pitch a little bit further, same as the striker, and sort of making runs where I'm able to try and get the ball into the attacking half so that I can keep the ball up there rather than in my defensive half. So with my wingers, I'm setting them onto basic defensive support so that I can come and receive the ball, but also make brief runs so that I can try and get a through ball through into them to keep the ball in my attacking half. CDMs, of course, very important. I set them on to stay back while attacking. You want them back, breaking up the play. Absolutely crucial, lads. No doubt about it. I have this set even on my ultra attacking formation. If you haven't yet seen that, go and check it out. But CDMs are on stay back because I want them back, breaking up the play and obviously defending against my opponent's attack. Wing bats, of course, are on stay back while attacking. There's no questions asked about that, nor is there centre bats. They're both on stay back while attacking because obviously, lads, you don't want them bombing up the field. You want them back, breaking up the play and defending out the last few minutes of the game. This last segment, however, is a quick tip on what I implement on the D-pad. This is very important, and I usually activate this once I've set my custom tactics and formation to ultra defensive. I HUD the sideline, and this is super important because you want your players out wide to receive the ball, and it's a very good way of countering constant pressure and team press. I iterated this in, yet again, my how to beat team press and constant pressure episode tutorial. If you haven't seen that, go and check it out. However, briefly, lads, what I do use is HUD the sideline, especially in times when I want to see out a game and get that W. But there you have it. There is my complete ultra defensive custom tactics and player instructions for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and of course I'll give myself a plug as always. I'm doing tutorials on Instagram, TikTok and Twitter, so go and check them out over there. Links are in the description down below. But as always, I hope you have a good day. I'm out. Sayonara, au revoir, adios, salam, and goodbye.